Discovery of deception. Commander Maya Lu's fingers danced across the holographic interface, the blue light illuminating her face in the dimly lit data archives of Galactic Alliance headquarters. The massive orbital station hung silently above Earth, its gleaming structures housing the political center of the 27 spacefaring species that formed the Alliance. As the Assistant Chief Security Officer, Maya had high-level clearance, but not high enough for what she had just stumbled upon. That can't be right, she whispered to herself, triple-checking the encryption she had just broken. The file had appeared during a routine security sweep, its classification markers inconsistent with standard protocols. Most Alliance documents followed clear naming conventions. This one used an archaic numbering system she recognized from her training days. The file was simply labeled Project Sunset, with a security level she'd never seen before. The Alliance's security levels ran from 1 to 5. This was marked as Level 8. Maya shouldn't have opened it. Her position gave her Level 4 clearance, and she should have reported the anomaly to her superiors. But something about the file's hidden location in the system architecture triggered her instincts. 20 years in intelligence had taught her to trust those instincts. Now, staring at the contents, her blood ran cold. On the screen was a record of a closed council session from 18 months ago. All 9 high counselors had been present. The vote was unmistakable. 6 in favor, 2 against, 1 abstention. The motion that passed, approval of Project Sunset, the controlled and untraceable removal of the human species from Alliance space. Maya's hands trembled. Her father had been human, her mother from the Lyrican star system. Mixed species offspring were rare but not unheard of. The Alliance had always claimed to represent equal rights for all sentient beings. Yet here was evidence that the 9 most powerful individuals in the galaxy had voted to systematically eliminate an entire species, her father's people. The door to the archives hissed open. Maya's heart nearly stopped. Commander Liu, working late again. The tall, slender figure of Security Director Thalen stood in the doorway, his 4 eyes blinking with what appeared to be curiosity. With practiced calm, Maya closed the file and pulled up a different screen. Just verifying some irregularities in the diplomatic clearance protocols, Director. The Cygnus delegation arrives tomorrow. Tholen's upper eyes narrowed slightly. Commendable initiative, Commander. But even officers need rest. Don't stay too late. After he left, Maya sat motionless, her mind racing. The Council controlled virtually everything in Alliance space. Who could she trust? Where could she go? There was only one answer. Humanity needed to know what was planned for them. Within 2 hours, Maya had copied the encrypted files to a quantum storage device and erased all traces of her discovery from the system logs. The device, an obsolete piece of technology her grandfather had given her, used principles that modern Alliance systems couldn't easily track. As she made her way toward the shuttle bay, alarms suddenly blared throughout the station. Not for her, not yet, but for an unscheduled departure in Bay 12. Perfect timing. Security would be focused there while she slipped aboard a supply shuttle bound for Europa, Jupiter's ice-covered moon, and home to the largest human settlement outside Earth. The shuttle departed without incident, and only when they were safely in transit did Maya allow herself to breathe normally. The device in her pocket felt impossibly heavy. It carried the truth that could change everything in the Alliance, and Maya knew that from this moment forward, she would be hunted across the stars. But the truth had to get out, no matter the cost. Captain Darius Riordan stood with his arms crossed as Maya's transmission played on the secure view screen. The room, buried deep beneath Europa's icy surface, contained 15 individuals, 11 humans, and 4 aliens representing non-council worlds. They had gathered in what Riordan called the last truly secure location in the solar system. As you can see, Maya said calmly, gesturing to the holographic display of the Council's vote. The Galactic Alliance Council approved Project Sunset 18 months ago, the systematic elimination of humanity. A tall, azure-skinned Meridian diplomat raised a 4-fingered hand. Captain Riordan, this is deeply troubling. What will Earth do with this information? Instead of answering immediately, Riordan turned to his aide. Escort our non-human allies to the secure quarters. We need to discuss this internally first. After the aliens left, Riordan activated a hidden console. Initiate Protocol Phoenix. Authorization Riordan Delta 69. Within minutes, 12 faces appeared on separate screens. Earth's Defense Council. The most powerful military and intelligence leaders humanity had produced, they had been preparing for this day since the first contact with alien life 80 years ago. So it's confirmed, said General Santos, her weathered face grave. We've suspected the Alliance had plans against us for decades. And we're ready, Riordan replied. Admiral Takeda opened a data stream. Protocol Phoenix is already active. Our deep space fleet is dividing into tactical groups and moving to the prepared positions across 5 sectors. The sleeper cells we embedded in Alliance space over the last decade are being activated. And the colonies? Asked Riordan. All 34 human settlements across the solar system and beyond are on high alert, reported Colonel Makey. Defensive systems are online, and evacuation protocols are prepared if needed. What struck Maya most was the complete lack of panic. Earth had been preparing for this betrayal since the Alliance first extended its hand in friendship. Humans had always been cautious, always watching and planning. What about the non-human representatives who saw the transmission? Maya asked. Riordan allowed himself a small smile. They're already sending encrypted messages to their homeworlds. By tomorrow, a quarter of the galaxy will know what the Council planned to do. Outside the meeting room, those same alien representatives were indeed sending urgent communiques. Many species had their own reasons to distrust the Alliance Council, which controlled trade routes, technology sharing, and military movements with an iron grip. The evidence they had just witnessed confirmed their worst suspicions about the Council's true nature. As the meeting continued, Maya shared what else she had discovered about Project Sunset. It's not a military strike or invasion. They're playing a longer game. The files indicate they've been introducing biological agents into human environments, subtle compounds that reduce fertility rates. They've been manipulating economic policies to limit human expansion. They've even been sabotaging our technological development. Classic containment strategy, General Santos noted. Limit, reduce, and eventually eliminate without obvious aggression. But why? Asked Maya. The official justification in the files claims humans are destabilizing influences and evolutionary anomalies. What does that even mean? Riordan exchanged glances with Admiral Takeda. We have theories, but we need more information. That's where you come in, Commander Liu. Those files you stole, there's more to them than what you've shown us. Maya nodded. The encryption is complex. I've only scratched the surface. Our best cryptographers are waiting for you, Riordan said. But first, you should know, the Alliance has already realized what you've taken. There's a galaxy-wide alert for your capture. As if on cue, alarms blared throughout the Europa base. Proximity alert, called a technician. Alliance vessels entering Jupiter space. 6 cruisers, Designation Enforcement Division. They found us faster than expected, Riordan muttered. Commander Liu, you need to go. Now. Go where? Maya asked, rising to her feet. If they've tracked me to Europa. Not you, Riordan interrupted. They're tracking the quantum storage device. It's old tech, but not undetectable. They'll expect you to be with it. Understanding dawned on Maya. You're using me as a decoy. Only temporarily, Riordan assured her. We'll extract you within 48 hours. But right now, we need to get that data to our secure facility on Titan. Within minutes, Maya was aboard a stealth transport, the kind not supposed to exist in human hands according to Alliance treaties. As the vessel slipped away from Europa using gravitational shadows to mask its signature, Maya watched Jupiter's massive form through the viewport. They're scanning the entire moon, reported the pilot. A woman with the focused intensity of special operations training. Alliance forces have landed at the main colony. They'll find the decoy base soon. And the real base? Maya asked. The pilot's smile was cold. That's the beauty of ice worlds, Commander. You can hide a lot under a few kilometers of frozen water. As they accelerated toward Saturn's largest moon, Maya couldn't help wondering if humanity had been preparing too well for this moment. The military precision, the hidden technologies, the backup plans, it all suggested her people had never truly trusted the Alliance. And now that distrust had been vindicated in the most terrible way possible. High Counselor Varix slammed his appendage against the crystalline table, sending fractures through the ancient material. The sound echoed through the emergency chamber, causing several counselors to flinch. How did this happen? He demanded, his vocal sacs pulsating with rage. The 7 other counselors present shifted uncomfortably in their ergonomically designed seats. The human Lyrican hybrid, Commander Liu, has disappeared with the files, reported Counselor Zhen of the Arcturus Collective. Our security forces believe she has taken the evidence to human authorities. The encryption was supposed to be unbreakable. Nothing created is unbreakable, said Counselor Nell, the oldest member of the council. His species' extraordinarily long lifespan gave him a perspective the others lacked. I warned against this plan from the beginning. Now we face the consequences. The council chamber floated at the heart of the Alliance station, supposedly the most secure location in the galaxy. Its walls were crafted from rare minerals that blocked all signals and prevented any recording devices from functioning within, or so they believed. What none of them realized was that Lieutenant Kara Chen of Earth Intelligence had been recording everything. Disguised as an environmental control unit, her specialized drone body contained stealth technology the Alliance had never encountered. She had been gathering intelligence on Council activities for years. We must respond decisively, insisted Varix. I propose immediate military action against key human installations before they can organize a coherent defense. Escalation would be disastrous, countered Counselor Nell. I favored observation and containment of the humans, not elimination. Now that they know our plans, military action will only confirm their worst fears about us. The council quickly fractured into factions as they debated their response. The military faction, led by Varix, pushed for immediate strikes against human worlds. The diplomatic faction, led by Counselor Zara, advocated for denying everything and launching a massive information campaign to discredit the evidence. A small minority, led by Nell, suggested the unthinkable, telling the truth and seeking reconciliation. Enough, shouted Varix. We vote now. Do we strike at Earth immediately, or waste precious time with politics? Inside her drone disguise, Lieutenant Chen recorded everything, her pulse racing, as she witnessed the potential start of an interstellar war. She needed to transmit this critical intelligence to Earth as soon as possible. Before we vote, said Counselor Zira with measured calm, we should consider what the humans might do now that they know our plans. They are unpredictable and remarkably adaptable. Several counselors shifted nervously at this observation. Humans were indeed known for their ability to survive against overwhelming odds. And now humanity had been given the one thing that made them most dangerous, a reason to unite against a common enemy. As the Council continued their heated debate on distant Europa, the Alliance Enforcement Division had discovered the decoy base, empty except for a single quantum storage device containing exactly one file, a message from Captain Riordan that simply read, "You should have left us alone." The hidden truth. The journey to Titan took 11 hours, most of it spent in communications blackout as the stealth transport navigated the complex gravitational fields of Saturn's ring system. Maya used the time to study what little data she had been able to decrypt from the Project Sunset files. Something about the Council's justification nagged at her. The phrase evolutionary anomalies kept appearing in reference to humans. When they finally emerged from Saturn's shadow, the massive methane-clouded surface of Titan loomed before them. Unlike Europa's ice-covered ocean, Titan featured vast lakes of liquid hydrocarbons. Humanity's settlement there was primarily scientific in nature, or so the Alliance had been told. Beginning descent to Prometheus Base, announced the pilot as they plunged into the thick orange atmosphere. The base revealed itself not as the small research station documented in Alliance records, but as a sprawling underground complex carved into the moon's frozen core. As they docked in a concealed hangar, Maya was met by a tall, dark-skinned man with the insignia of Earth intelligence on his uniform. "Commander Liu, I'm Director Marcus West. Welcome to the real Titan operation. This facility doesn't exist according to Alliance records," Maya observed as they walked through corridors bustling with activity. West's smile was grim. "Many things humanity has been doing don't exist according to Alliance records. We've been preparing for this day since we discovered the first evidence of the Council's true intentions 15 years ago." "You knew about Project Sunset?" Maya asked, shocked. "Not specifically," West admitted, "but we intercepted enough communications to understand the Council considered humanity a problem to be solved. What we didn't know was that they had moved from containment to elimination." They entered a large circular room where dozens of specialists worked at various stations. At the center stood a holographic projection of the entire solar system, with countless data points representing human and Alliance assets. "This is our war room," West explained. "From here, we coordinate with every human settlement and our covert operatives throughout Alliance space. Your stolen files have already been transmitted to our cryptography team." As if on cue, a woman approached them, her eyes bright with excitement. "Director, Commander, we've broken through another layer of encryption in the Project Sunset files. You need to see this immediately." On the main screen appeared a series of complex charts and diagrams, genetic sequences, brain scans, technological development curves, all comparing humans to other Alliance species. "What are we looking at?" Maya asked. "The real reason the Council voted to eliminate us," West replied, his voice tight with emotion. "Not because we're dangerous expansionists, but because of this." He pointed to a particular chart showing evolutionary advancement rates across multiple species. The human line climbed exponentially faster than all others. Dr. Eliza Chen, the chief xenobiologist at the facility, stepped forward to explain. "Most species evolve through gradual genetic adaptation over millions of years. Humans are different. We transform our environment instead of adapting to it. We create technology to overcome our limitations." "The Council wasn't concerned about our aggression," West continued. "They were terrified of our potential. According to their projections, within a single century, humanity would develop technologies that would make the Council obsolete." The screen shifted to show a theoretical timeline of human innovation. Within 50 years, the Council's analysts predicted humans would master instantaneous interstellar travel, biological immortality, and even consciousness transfer between organic and synthetic forms. "They saw us as an evolutionary shortcut," Dr. Chen explained, "a species that could achieve in decades what took others millennia. And that terrified them." Maya stared at the projections in disbelief. "So they decided to eliminate us before we could reach our potential." "Precisely," confirmed West. "But they're too late. Their actions have only accelerated what they feared most: humanity's unified advancement." At that moment, an alert sounded throughout the base. "Director, we're receiving a priority transmission from the Europa Resistance," called a communications officer. The main screen switched to show Captain Riordan, looking grim but determined. "The Alliance fleet has discovered our decoy base and taken the bait, but we've received word from our operatives inside the Council. They're preparing for a full military strike against Earth and all human colonies." "How much time do we have?" West asked. 24 hours at most," Riordan replied. "But we're not alone anymore." The screen split to show multiple transmissions from across the galaxy, representatives of various species, many from worlds that had chafed under Council rule for centuries. Ambassador Kevora of the Arcturus Collective, a species known for their cautious diplomacy, spoke first. "For too long, We have allowed the Council to determine which species thrive and which stagnate. Their decision to eliminate humanity proves what many have long suspected. They fear any threat to their power. The Arcturus Collective stands with humanity. One by one, representatives from 12 non-council worlds pledged their support. Not out of altruism, Maya realized, but out of self-interest. If the Council could vote to eliminate humans today, they could target any species tomorrow. We're forming a coalition, Riordan explained. A third of Alliance space is already in open rebellion against the Council. Their communications networks are in chaos. Their military vessels are receiving contradictory orders. West turned to Maya. Commander Liu, you've unwittingly sparked a galactic revolution. Maya felt the weight of that responsibility, but another realization was forming in her mind. Director, there's more to these files than just the extinction plan. The Council has been studying human cognitive patterns, our neural architecture. There's something else they discovered about us. Dr. Chen had already been examining those sections of the decrypted files. She's right. According to these studies, humans possess a unique form of neuroplasticity. Our brains form connections in ways no other species does. We can integrate and synthesize disparate information to create entirely new concepts. Innovation, West murmured. The one thing the Council couldn't control or predict. Not just innovation, Chen corrected. Empathy. The ability to understand alien perspectives despite profound biological differences. Look at these scans. Human brains activate unique patterns when interacting with non-human species. We literally rewire ourselves to understand the other. That's why mixed species offspring like me are possible with humans, but rare between other species. Maya realized. We're biologically predisposed to connect across differences. And that makes us the perfect catalyst for galactic unification. West concluded, not under Council rule, but through a genuine coalition of equals. Lieutenant Kara Chen's drone disguise had served her well for years within the Council station. Now, as alarms blared and security forces rushed through the corridors, she knew her cover was about to be compromised. The emergency council session had revealed their plans for immediate military action against Earth, and she needed to transmit this intelligence before it was too late. Slipping through maintenance shafts designed for actual drones, she made her way toward the communications hub. Security was tight, but the chaos of the current crisis worked in her favor as officers were being deployed to handle the growing rebellion across Alliance space. Within the communications center, she interfaced with the quantum array, disguising her transmission as routine system diagnostics. The message was brief but critical. Council authorizing full military strike. Target. Sol system. Timeframe. Immediate. Multiple fleets converging. As she completed the transmission, security protocols suddenly engaged around her. Her drone camouflage flickered as override commands attempted to shut down her systems. Unauthorized access detected. Security lockdown initiated, announced the station's eye. It was time for her contingency plan. Lieutenant Chen released the specialized nanites she had carried within her drone shell. As they dispersed throughout the communications system, they began their pre-programmed task, spreading the truth about Project Sunset to every corner of Alliance space. Within minutes, every communications device in Alliance territory received the same files Commander Liu had stolen, but now fully decrypted and organized to reveal the Council's systematic plan for human extinction. Back on Titan, Director West received Lieutenant Chen's warning along with confirmation that her final mission had succeeded. The knowledge spread like wildfire across the stars, not just of the planned genocide, but of the reason behind it. The Council's fear of human potential. Director, called a senior analyst, we're tracking massive fleet movements throughout Alliance space. But something's happening. Ships are breaking formation, ignoring Council orders. On the main tactical display, entire battle groups designated for the assault on Earth were changing course, some going dark completely. They're defecting, West realized. The crews are choosing sides. Captain Reardon's face appeared on the communication screen. It's working. The Alliance military is fracturing. Nearly 40% of their forces are standing down or joining the coalition. But the Council loyalists are still coming. And they'll reach Earth within hours. Maya watched as humanity's hidden fleets emerged from their concealment throughout the solar system, far more numerous and advanced than anything the Alliance believed humans possessed. "How long have we been preparing for this?" she asked West. "Since the beginning," he replied. "We never trusted the Council's overtures of peace. While we smiled and signed their treaties, we built in secret, we planned, we prepared. As Earth's defense platforms activated and the hidden fleets moved into position, coalition forces from a dozen non-Council worlds arrived to stand with humanity against the coming assault." Admiral Takeda's voice echoed through the command center. "All vessels, this is Fleet Command. We stand today not just for humanity's survival, but for the right of all species to determine their own evolution. The Council sought to decide which species would thrive and which would perish. Today, we reject their authority." At that moment, across Alliance space, billions of beings watched as the truth about Project Sunset spread unstoppably through communication networks. The Council's legitimacy crumbled with each passing hour as more worlds declared their independence. In the Council chamber, High Counselor Varix received the reports with growing horror. How could this happen? We controlled everything. Counselor Nell regarded him with ancient, weary eyes. We controlled nothing. We merely pretended to. And now the galaxy knows the truth. As the Loyalist fleets approached Earth, they found themselves not facing a panicked, disorganized resistance, but a fully prepared coalition of forces, human and alien alike, united against Council tyranny. "Attention Alliance vessels," transmitted Admiral Takeda. "You have been deceived by the Council. You were told you were coming to prevent aggression. In truth, you are being used as instruments of genocide. Stand down, and you will be welcomed as allies. Continue your attack, and you will face the combined might of a unified galaxy." One by one, Alliance commanders made their choice. Some maintained their loyalty to the Council. Many more recognized the truth and stood down. The Battle of Seoul, as it would later be called, lasted less than 6 hours. When it ended, the Council's power was broken forever. In its place arose something new, the Coalition of Sovereign Worlds, founded on the principle that no species had the right to determine another's destiny. 6 months later, Maya Liu stood on the observation deck of the newly christened Coalition headquarters, the former Alliance station, now renamed Unity. Beside her stood representatives from 32 species, including many former Council loyalists who had defected when they learned the truth. "The irony," remarked Ambassador Kevora, "is that in trying to prevent humanity from changing the galaxy, the Council guaranteed that very outcome." Maya watched as ships from dozens of worlds moved through space around the station, once enemies or strangers, now allies. "They were right to fear us," she said quietly, "just not for the reasons they thought." "What happens now?" asked a young Meridian diplomat. Director West, now serving as Earth's representative to the Coalition Council, smiled. "Now we do what humans have always done. We evolve, we explore, we connect. But this time, we bring the galaxy with us." As if to emphasize his point, on the main screen appeared the first test of humanity's newest innovation, a drive system that could fold space itself, making instantaneous travel between stars possible. The very technology the Council had feared humans would develop. Except now, instead of being humanity's exclusive advantage, it would be shared with all Coalition worlds, the first of many technologies that would transform galactic civilization. The Council had tried to prevent the future they feared. Instead, they had ensured it would come to pass, not as a threat, but as a promise of something better for all sentient beings. And as Maya watched the test ship disappear into folded space, she knew the Council had been right about one thing. Humanity had indeed changed the galaxy forever.